Hello everyone, this is Amythyss and welcome to this new video. Today we are making a quite large build, I will say. This build really took I remember it was like 2 hours and I was absolutely exhausted afterwards. This build is also rather complex because it uses a few cheats and it is also quite a particular one. It uses a few I would say unknown tricks. It uses quite a lot of unknown tricks, and as you can see, I'm already measuring it out. This house will not be using foundations, so I really need to measure out what it is that I am doing. And yeah, basically, as you can see, I'm already done with measurement, and yeah, I'm using foundations, but actually, this is not the house. Like, surprisingly enough, the foundations are not the house itself. Like, this is not the actual house. And yeah, as you can see, I'm already struggling with the size, and also I'm already trying to make it work. And already here, I was like, oh no, I found an issue already. I needed to remove these first. And this trick is very nice. I learned it from YouTube. I don't remember which channel. Basically, I made the house. Well, I lowered the terrain enough for a wall, so that basically the house is technically underground, although not really underground. I don't know if it makes sense. I'm sure it will make sense very soon. And well, here I'm already trying to be like, okay, how do I make a good entrance? And I believe that I found it out quite fast. Although I will come back to changing this. I promise. I will actually come back and change this. And the reason is because I didn't ultimately like how this looked. And yeah. Oh my god, I remember. I hated the fact that I couldn't put the walls near the stairs. I'm not sure I understand why, I'm gonna be honest. So instead I decided that, you know what? Let's just go for some columns. It's like, I'm gonna be honest, I had a specific plan for this house that worked, was very nice, but I had to change it almost completely. Like, really, the original plan basically went out of the window. And yeah, I think I'm finally. No, never mind. I was thinking that I finally start, but I'm still taking measurements of what it is, and like, I'm still taking measurements. This house took so many measurements for, I guess, no reason. Like, well, no, it's not like no reason. It took. I had to take so many measurements to make this work. And finally, this is the actual size of the house. It's surprisingly big. Although, I'm gonna be honest, this is more of a well, it's an apartment block actually. A very modern, very um, mansiony, very modern, very grand apartment block. The lore is basically that well, the owner of the mansion basically sold the house because the housing prices plummeted. So the owner just sold the house, and yeah, this is essentially the lore. The lore. He sold the house and made it into apartment blocks. And yeah, as you can see, I'm already starting to build the shell. I really hope, by the way, that the elevators work. I did not test this and I'm so scared they are not going to work. But yeah, Now I am using, as you can notice, a few cheats. This is from By the Bag, and the reason for that is I need to set up some public and hidden rooms because otherwise it doesn't work. Like the I will probably make a tutorial about this, but the quick answer is you own everything that is not either a public room or a hidden room, and it doesn't make sense to allow the sim to own like the lobby because like it's an apartment building, you don't own the lobby. So yeah, but I will be making a tutorial about this eventually. I think it is maybe one of the next videos. I think I will be doing it maybe within next month. I don't know. But yeah, to continue the to continue the actual build, I am actually setting up the black rooms because, as I said in a previous video, I hate not having the black rooms. Like, they make it so easy to visualize what actually is able to be used. And I believe that here I decided, yeah, here I decided to do something completely different, I believe. No, never mind. Never mind. Here I decided which one is the apartment that the sim will actually buy, and I think that it is actually one of the best ones. Like, yes, lore-wise the top ones are the best ones, but I actually really like the ones that I made, because like I I think that they are a nice shape and a nice spacing. And here I believe I use my first cheat, which is place freezes. I think that I will be using it soon. Basically, the reason for that is, well, I said some time ago that I really like putting foundations on, and this is the reason. Basically, at some point, I am not able to put the platform at the center for some unknown reason, which is why I love using platforms at the beginning. So since I cannot, I'm just using place freezes and like whatever. I know that I said I don't like using cheats, but my biggest concern honestly is with move objects. As long as it is not move objects, it doesn't matter as much, I think. Like, move objects, the items can be put in places where maybe it doesn't work. Place freezes, yeah, well, as long as you are smart about it, it will work fine. And here I'm basically starting to add some details, such as these nice stone walls. I really like these textures. This texture, I'm gonna be honest. And well, what to say? I believe that I will soon be adding some color. Yeah. Now, I picked the yellow, and honestly speaking, I struggled so much with this color. Like, I wanted to pick something hard because yellow is really rarely used in my builds, and I wanted to make something very special. But it is so hard to make this work. Like, as you can see, in fact, I'm gonna spend a whole lot of time making this yellow work. Like, this one was too bright, this one was too dark, this one looked weird, and so on. It took so long to actually make it work. And I don't think that I settle on this. I think I settle on this, but make it a little bit darker, I think. Actually, no. No. I actually do settle on this, and it's because it's it's okay. It doesn't stand out too much. It looks like it is a painted wall, so this is actually perfect. Now I'm actually starting to mark out the path and do a little bit of landscaping because honestly speaking, I wanted to do something very specific and I was like, yeah, I'm not going to do that thing because it's just not going to work. And yes, I know that in this case I forgot to set one of the walls differently. Don't worry guys, I will get into it, I promise. And here I decided, you know what, let's add more details. And yeah, I quickly noticed that one of the walls is differently colored. I think it's now, I think, that I noticed it. I don't quite remember. And yeah, here obviously I set again the green floor. I I think that the carpet floor adds so much. Like it just adds so much to the builds. And yeah, obviously I'm again trying to upgrade everything to make everything look as fancy as I can. Because, as I said, this is technically a mansion, therefore I wanted it to still keep some mansiony vibes, kind of, thing. So, like the containment wall should remain a containment wall. And yeah, here I think that I noticed that I didn't really like it all being grey like this. And indeed, and here I started working with the stairs. I give it a couple tries, I believe, and then just settle for a good design. And yeah, here basically I decide, okay, let's try white. Then notice white is a little too flat. It doesn't really connect with anything, so I decided, you know what, yellow it is. Why yellow? Yellow because it stands out. Like yellow is the color for details in this mansion, so yellow it is. And yeah, I'm gonna be honest. This yellow makes this house very much look like a The Sims 4 mansion. I have no idea why. Like it, like I don't know if you noticed from the thumbnail, but this really looks like a The Sims 4 mansion. And yeah, here I'm starting to add the windows. And here I thought, you know what? The windows are nice, but I don't want to have everything with the same type of endless window. Here I use a trick from the previous video. I really love making these kind of walls. And yeah, basically, I swear this build was super long. Like, I believe that that I already said at the beginning of the video, but this build took like 2 hours in total, and like it's insane. Like this build was really long, and yeah, here I finally settled on the choice for the gardens, and I have no idea why one of the walls looks different. I yeah. Indeed, here I already started worrying about it, like why is it different? But it's one of the many glitches. And here I say, you know what, I want a different color for this grass compared to the other. I don't know why. Like, I legitimately don't know why I decided to have a completely different colored glass. Sorry, grass. But I think that it works just fine. And yeah, I'm basically going to use another trick from the previous video, and here I'm basically making the NPC doors. I promise I will explain in a future video why I'm making the NPC doors. Like, actually, like I will explain more in details, but NPC doors are basically the front doors for NPCs. Like to make um, to make an apartment block, you basically need to make NPC doors. Otherwise, technically, no one is going to live there, and therefore, how can it be a NPC door? It will just be a locked door or an open door unless you lock it. So basically, yeah, you need to do that. And here I decided to go for the three tile window because I decided, you know what, it's too busy to make a one to use the one by one windows. It's way too busy. And here I'm continuing doing the exact same thing above, as in upstairs. This house actually utilizes a lot of very similar styles. As I said, it is like a mansion, so of course it will be very uniform. And at this point, I believe that I noticed, you know what, the back is far too empty. I wanted to add something. So already at this point, I was planning, what do I do with the back? And I I believe that my first thought was, let's add a parking lot. This house definitely needs some parking, so let's just add a parking lot. However, I was like, okay, this doesn't work. No matter what I try, this doesn't work, so let's just make some leveling up. And here I basically had a eureka moment. I was like, okay, I know exactly what I want to do, and honestly, this part was, I think, the hardest to do. This part was legitimately a nightmare, and this is the second part where I use cheats, by the way. I use constraint floor elevation, I think that it is called. And yeah, I basically had to delete everything, and yeah, this part of the build was actually very weird because, like, doesn't matter what I tried to do, the tiles would actually be fighting with each other, and it was so weird. Like, if I wanted to do this, I needed to do that. Okay. But yeah, as you can notice, I did manage pretty decently. And yeah, now the real struggle begins because here I try now to put the platform on, and I notice, oh no, the floor is not straight. I cannot make it straight. So yeah, here is where I'm gonna use the constraint floor elevation, and I believe, yeah, indeed I used the wrong one. And yeah, the reason for that is indeed this. The reason I hate constraint floor elevation is it basically it makes it very weird to build. But I sucked it up because this detail was actually very worth it. I tried adding a little bit of 3D extra, but it did not work. So yeah, basically the decision was, you know what, let's just have it like this, and I think that it works very well. I really like that detail. And yeah, here I'm basically adding more of well, another detail. I believe that yeah, I believe that here I make a parking lot for bikes. It is still a parking lot, just I guess not very car friendly because it is for bikes. But I guess that it will be fine. I mean, I'm trying to make this Sunset Valley a utopia, and I'm gonna be honest. The more I do this, the more I feel like no, I'm making a dystopia, which is quite annoying. I'm gonna be honest. And yeah, basically I'm trying to continue. Here I try to make this wall black, but I'm like, nah. Like it would link well with Windows, but it would look weird to have the top be black. And here I'm starting to add the details for the roof, which I'm gonna be honest is amazingly modern. Like obviously everything is going to be glass and glass, of course. But also, I'm not sure I mentioned it. I've been planning this build for actually quite a very long time. I think a few months. And the reason for that is I like to plan my builds far ahead so that I can actually think about them and think whether or not it is a good build to have. And yeah, by the way, as you may have noticed, I tried making those glass ceiling yellow, but it really did not work, like at all. And here I finally decided to make the entrance, I believe. I don't actually remember. Oh yeah, here I basically decided, okay, you know what, let me just start adding the stuff for the build. And yeah, basically I started doing the insides, I believe. And and yeah, here I was measuring where is the center of the build, and yeah, once I found it, it was actually already starting to look nice. I really like how this build turned out. It's well, it didn't come out as I liked it. Like I had a plan for something very different, but I still think that it looks fine. And yeah, here basically already I started putting in the bike racks. I I don't know how much they make sense, to be honest. I don't know why you would park your bike there, but yeah, I wanted the house to have some. Um, well, I wanted the house to have some parking, and that is essentially the only place where you can have parking. I guess that it may make sense that you have that parking as well. Maybe for the community lot that is nearby, maybe for the visiting people, I don't know. And here I actually forget something that I fixed later off camera. It is the outdoor lights. The garden in this video is absolutely not lit up, and here we actually have a cat. Finally, I started doing the inside of the apartment, and why the cat? Well, the cat is because this build took 2 hours, as I said, and therefore I did that in 2 sessions. And the cat happens to be where I did the 2 sessions. Basically, um, yeah, that is essentially what I did. So now finally we are working on the apartment. This apartment is, I think, very modern, but also very down to earth, I would say. Like it's nothing special, honestly. It's I think that yeah, the term I'm looking for is actually average. It's nothing extraordinary, nothing horrible. And yeah, basically I'm trying to add some more details because this build is awfully big and plain for now. And yeah, I try adding some plants. I believe that I settle for these plants because they are nice, they are big, they add just enough detail. And I try adding even more details to this build, although I look from outside and may, like, it doesn't look that good. I don't like the fact that the windows are obstructed even partially, so I'm like, fine, okay, no windows it is. Well, no, sorry, no couches it is. But yeah, here I'm basically starting to have a little bit of a brainstorm with the walls. I liked setting them out all to be the same because, well, this way I'm sure I don't forget them. Like, I realize now I forgot the lighting outside, so, like, you know what? I don't like it. And here I settle for something a little bit modern. Although here I'm starting to realize, you know what, I cannot see a thing. So let's start putting in the lights. And here I put a purposefully purposefully bad light because I'm like, maybe I wanted to use the wall lights. And fun fact, you cannot use the wall lights on um, how is it called, on foundation walls. It's not about how big it is, you just can't. And yeah, here I'm starting to do the bathroom. And oh my god, I struggled so much with the bathroom because for some reason I just couldn't remember what goes in a bathroom. And like, it's embarrassing, I'm gonna be honest. Like, I was there being like, okay, what is it that goes in a bathroom? Over and over being like, and like in retrospective, I'm like, was I dumb? What on earth? Why did I not know what goes in a bathroom? But as an excuse, I say it was the warmth. Honestly, right now my room was like 30 degrees, and I was really too warm. So like, okay, I needed to get this build done, but I'm way too warm. So yeah, this is why actually this build took so long. Like, I wanted to put on this build like a few days ago, but I just couldn't because like it just got super cold, super warm, and then super warm again, and then another super warm day, and I was like, oh my god, can I get it done? So one day I basically settled, you know what? I'm just going to make it, and whatever, I will suck it up. And well, I did suck it up, although I didn't exactly enjoy sucking it up. But yeah, here I'm basically moving on to the kitchen, and this kitchen is so nice. Like, this kitchen ends up being so amazing and cozy. I actually love how it turned out. Like, I know that I say it for every build, but I actually think that this kitchen turned out super cozy. Although I I do think that I had a little bit of fighting to do with it, and it is mostly related to the size and space. Like, I absolutely hated the fact that only 2 out of 5 rooms have a. Wait, is it 5? Yes, it is 5. I hated that only 2 out of 5 rooms have windows. Like, I absolutely hate it. Now, it makes sense in the build because technically those rooms are built up later. Like, as I meant, it makes sense in the lore because technically those rooms are not meant to be there. Like, they are not designed to be rooms. But but how do I explain it properly? This was a mansion, as I said, so basically those rooms were supposed to be connected to other rooms. So, like, the division is not how the build was planned out, if it makes sense like this. So I was like, okay, so fair enough, I guess. And yeah, here I'm basically thinking already like, okay, what is it that goes in now? Uh, what is it that goes inside of a bathroom? What is it that goes inside of a kitchen? And like, that was so weird. And yeah, here I'm basically deciding to start building something. And Oh my god, I remember hating so much the fact that I can barely see what color the wall is. I remember I was like, oh my god, like, I hated it. Here I decided, you know what, I don't have enough space for a trash can, so let's just have a trash compactor. I didn't really know what to put. I I have a big wall and I really have too few big paintings. Like I really think at some point I need to download more big paintings because well I had no idea what to put there. I ended up just doing this and just accepting that I'm using the into the future, although I hate the fact that it is not precise. But I make it work anyway. It looks okay, I guess. It's uh, it's definitely not the best part of the house, I think. And yeah, here I basically decided, okay, this is the actual entrance, so let's put some stuff that I think I would find in an entrance and be happy with that. Although I believe that Sims would actually use the garden entrance more because it's closer. I believe that Sims enter through the closest door, and well, this is the closest door, which I guess you would do also in real life. Like, I'm not sure actually. I guess that in real life a person would also come through the closest door, at least if it is their house. I guess. And probably also visitors because it is made out of glass, so like it is the first door I see. I see that you are inside, so let me knock on the closest door that I can see. Which is, I'm gonna be honest, a little bit weird. Like, well, like, I mean, in real life, it's a little bit weird that people, instead of going through the front door, just go through the closest door they see. Like, okay, that's not the door you are supposed to knock on, but fine. And continuing with the build, here I was so honestly undecided. I wanted the bed. I didn't want to use the Alt key, but I also wanted to have the bed as close as possible to the wall. So I basically had to say, you know what? I needed to do a compromise here, so whatever. I will use the Alt key and just have the wall closer to the window. Well, to the glass actually. I I really like the detail of having a small glass wall behind the bed. Like it doesn't obstruct the view, but it also doesn't like it obstructs the view. Pardon me. It doesn't obstruct the view, but also it does divide the space pretty neatly. And yeah, here basically I find more nice things that I can add. So I say to myself, you know what, I'm adding this. And here I finally decided to move out on the living room. And this living room is funny because I actually forgot to make a dining room. So at one point I noticed that I had no dining room and I was like, okay, I need to fit a dining room somewhere and I really don't want to rebuild everything. So and I actually managed. It doesn't look too bad either. Although I'm talking about it a little bit too early, I believe. Yeah, basically here I just remembered I don't have a dining room, so I was like, okay, let's make this also a dining room. And I think that it looks fine. I think that making this into a dining room was actually a great idea because it doesn't look too bad as a mix of dining and living room. It kind of makes sense, I guess. And I think that the build is almost done here. I actually don't remember how long it is in total. As in, I don't remember how I finished it, but yeah, this is the build. And yeah, of course, I'm checking night and day. And actually, I forgot that I also needed to add some lights on the top. And oops. But yeah, I basically did add very quickly the lights for the rest, and I think that I did a pretty decent job given my limitations. Like, this is a large house, a really large house, and I'm done. Actually, again, no. I'm sorry, I'm forgetting constantly things I added. I forgot that I needed, like, I forgot that I also added the the plants. I completely forgot about this build. Like I completely forgot about it, and it's actually quite embarrassing. I gotta be honest, but whatever. Um, I'm sure that you all can understand if you don't remember what you did in retrospective, like 10 or so days ago. But yeah, I believe that here I want to have a little bit of flowers around, and I end up not filling up the garden that much because I still wanted it to be like kind of functional. I wanted Sims to be able to work around it normally, but since I wanted it to be a little bit fuller, also I decided to use some like ground flowers, some flowery ground paint, I think it's called. And yeah, here basically I decided let's double check that I put everything. And finally I'm adding the last details, which are the outside plants. And by outside plants I mean, well, decorations for outside. It's actually not just plants, but I wanted to decorate also the higher balconies, and also of course the green roofs. And yeah, I gotta be honest, I like how this turned out. Like, it's I generally don't like adding too much on the roofs, but because like it doesn't make sense to me. Like, how on earth is it supposed to sustain all this greenery? But it makes sense. It actually works in this case. Like, why does it make sense? It's a big build. It used to be a mansion. You can expect that the materials that were used are pretty strong.